What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new commentary video. And today we're just chilling back, playing a little bit of some good old school Halo 3. I was in the mood for it today. But I don't have a topic from the viewer suggestion today. I just want to talk. And today I want to talk a little bit about perfectionism. And the reason why I want to talk about it is because I'm somebody that struggles with perfectionism a lot. I'm somebody that constantly worries about what other people think about my work, whether if it's this stuff here, whether if it's in my professional life. It doesn't matter. I am somebody that really thinks a lot about what other people think, and I want to always be perfect. I always feel like I'm not providing enough when it comes to the art that I create. And especially over the last few months, I've really been trying to work on becoming less of a perfectionist because it's not healthy. I think is the easiest thing to tell you is that perfectionism is one of the, it's weird because older people in your life will tell you that perfectionism is a good thing, right? And I think to some extent perfectionism is good. But there's to a point, okay? What I mean by perfectionism is that I don't mean that you wish that like that like the reports that you give your boss are perfect. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is a debilitating situation where you feel like you are never producing something that is up to as good as you can make it, and that you will always question what you're making. I want to give you an example of that. This is kind of an example that's kind of out there, but I want to use it. There's a scene in The Bear in season 4 where there is somebody at the restaurant that is visiting Chicago, and basically they were not able to experience a beef. A beef is a Italian beef sandwich, really good. If you haven't had one, come to Chicago and get one of the best sandwiches out there. But the point is that this table at the restaurant that the Bear runs is not able to try one. So they make one because that's what they're known for. So they make one. And the plate that is going to be brought out isn't very fancy. It's a plain white plate and it's not cut. And Jeremy Allen White's character, Carmi, takes it out of another character's hands and spends a couple minutes messing with it and essentially trying to make it look more presentable. And the whole point of that scene is that if you understand what an Italian beef is not made to be fancy. An Italian beef is meant to be a messy sandwich that was a representation of the Great Depression and poverty in Chicago of the early 1900s. That is the whole point of that sandwich, and that's why it's so popular, and that's why it was created. Carmi in this scene is attempting to make it more of a fine dining experience. And the whole point of that scene was to represent Carmi's perfectionism. And that's sort of the theme of that season is Carmi working through his perfectionism. And what's really interesting about that is that I kind of looked back at the stuff that I make. And there's been times, whether if it's in my professional job or here, where I have scrapped videos and stuff like that I just was not happy with. There was one in particular that I was spending a long time working on, actually about the Bear, about a certain episode in season 2. You probably know which one if you've seen the show. And I was working on that, and I spent a long time. I edited the whole thing. It was like a really good video, but I scrapped it because I didn't feel like it was good enough. And there's a couple things that I've had over the last couple months that have helped me. One of the major things that I've learned is sharing your art with people. It is one of the best ways that you can work through your perfectionism. I literally mean sharing it with people around you. I don't mean putting it out to the world. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But if you can, share it with people. And it helps me a lot. Just being able to share it either with you guys in the Discord or sharing it via social media, it's just helpful for me to get other eyes on it and have people give me their thoughts on it. Because I'll look at a video and say, oh, this is dog shit, right? I'll look at a video essay or something and say, this is dog shit. Or I'll look at a paper that I'm writing and say, this is dog shit, right? But as soon as you get a second pair of eyes on it, I feel like that's one of the most beneficial things that you can do to help cure your perfectionism. When you have a second pair of eyes looking at something, they're not going to look at it with the same critical lens that you are. Some people naturally have a critical lens when it comes to their own work. And I'm assuming me and you are one of those people, right? So I've had people look at my work, whether if it's friends, family, you guys, it doesn't matter. And this is literally everything in my life. Okay. I even did it today. I was writing some live copy for air for the radio station. And for anybody that doesn't know, that's like when the DJ comes on, he's like, hey, we're giving away some free Nickelback tickets, right? I was writing some of those today. I was writing one for an art exhibit downtown. And as I was writing it, I didn't feel confident in it. And I showed it to my boss. And he goes, dude, this is one of the best ones that you've written. Like, this is great. Fucking put it in the system. So I did, right? And sometimes it's as simple as that. I think a really another beneficial thing is that a lot of people that get hung up on, being a perfectionist, we want to be able to put our art out, right? We want to be able to put out what we're making and things like that. The best tip that I can give you is take a step away and clear your mind. And when I mean step away, I don't mean take a 5-minute break. Sometimes a day is helpful. Like, genuinely, and I say that for all art. When you finalize a project, right? It doesn't matter what medium it is. I always just say, take a step back and literally just take a day to think about it, and just say to myself, do I like where it's at? What would I change, right? Because the thing is that I can finish a video, right, or a paper, and I'll submit it or I'll upload the video, and then it comes out and I'm like, I wish I would have changed this thing. So what I really recommend doing is sometimes just stopping for a day, because then you're not having that second guess the next day, right? And there's always going to be something that you could change about something that you love. There's plenty of things that I look back on that I've made that I say, that could have been better. I could have changed this thing. I could have changed this aspect. There's some of these videos that I think that. But then I tell myself, no, you put in the effort and you created something that you cared about. You did create something, and here's what you're going to do. You're not going to think about it. You're not going to think about it today, all right? And if you really want to change it a week from now, do it. But right now, what you've created and what you've given to the world is what it's going to be. And, sometimes I think that just letting the universe give you hints and signs is another really good thing. I recently had a paper that I submitted for a class that I wasn't too happy with. It was a story, actually, for one of my journalism courses. And basically, the topic was to interview somebody and then just talk about their dream job. And I interviewed a girl in my class. I wrote it, and I didn't like it. And I got the grade back today. It was an 11 out of 10. I got an extra point on it. Sometimes you just need to be able to put things out. And I say this for writing, I say this for music, I say this for videos, I say this for anything in this sort of more creative field like writing, this medium, whatever. Just put something out. I truly believe that the first step of getting better and becoming more productive, getting over a block of some kind, or just straight up trying to improve or get over like these issues that you're having internally, is to just straight up produce something. It doesn't matter the quality. The point isn't that we are trying to produce something amazing, but the point is that we don't want to stare at a blank canvas. If I'm struggling with writing a story, an article, a paper, or making a video, I will not start with a blank canvas. I will not look at a blank screen. If I'm writing an article about a topic that I don't know a lot about or I don't know where I want it to go, I will literally just start writing a couple leads, which is basically the first paragraph of an article. And they're not going to be the best thing ever, and you're going to change them. But the point is that it gets the brain thinking. And same thing with videos. I will not stare at a blank Premiere Pro project. What I'll do is I'll drop in some footage. I'll mess around with the footage. And there we go. And that's how you start working with some of these issues. You don't just sit there and pout about it and get in your own anxiety and just think about it. Because if you sit there with a problem in front of your face and then instead of coming up with a solution, we're gonna worry about it. Be like, oh no, this fucking thing's still blank. The essays due at midnight. Fucking, I have this homework due at fucking 10 a.m. or whatever it is. It doesn't matter. What matters is that we get something out. And it's not going to be something that you're going to use in the final piece. Even if you just start writing about something completely random or drawing something random, editing something random, fucking singing something random, it will help you get some creative juices flowing. There are a lot of people in these creative spaces and in general where if things don't flow naturally, they get stressed. That's called anxiety, right? You're having anxiety that you essentially can't perform, okay? And the issue is that a lot of people, including myself sometimes, we just sit there and we don't come up with a solution. We sit there in our own sorrows. So genuinely, just start putting something out there. It doesn't matter what it is. Another thing too is I think that it's important to look at people that are also doing what you're doing and speaking with them. It helps me to talk with people a lot of the times when I'm dealing with like issues, right? Like when it comes to perfection. And you know, it's nice. It's nice if I can chat with my boss. You know, he's somebody that's worked in the industry for 30 years before he worked at our station. So I'm able to talk to him when I'm feeling down about a promo or something that I'm working on. And like, I just think that that's really important. And even if they're not in your field, just talking with somebody that doesn't understand your field is helpful sometimes. Sometimes it's nice to be able to talk to like somebody like my grandpa or something like that has no idea what I'm talking about. But we can just get those ideas flowing, even if he has literally no idea anything about what I do. He doesn't, okay? But it's just the truth. And it's nice sometimes to be able to get that flowing. It's a way to de-stress. It's a way to get out these issues that you're feeling inside instead of just sitting with them. Stop sitting with your feelings. You need to express them. If you sit there and hold them in, that's how you like end up with anxiety and depression in these things. And bigger like issues with like dealing with like blockages and things like that. It's because you're not dealing with what's going on inside. You're pushing it away. And I also want to remind you that sometimes it's nice to step away from projects sometimes. What I mean by that is that if you just went through a breakup, yeah, maybe it's not time to work on the album today, you know? Or maybe it's not time to work on the essay at this moment. Just take a day. Think about it, all right? You need to take time to process shit. And if you are processing shit while you're trying to create something, guess what? You're not going to create good work. And I'm guilty of that. I've tried to make multiple things when I'm dealing with anxiety or I'm dealing with stressors. And they're some of the worst videos I've ever made, and I hate them, okay? Especially in the early days when I was in high school and I was dealing with breakups and I was hiding those emotions because I wasn't mature. I wasn't emotionally mature yet. Yeah, man, it sucked. I look back on some of those videos where I'm just so quiet and I'm not engaging with anybody. It's because I was stressed out and I was hiding it. But anyways, guys, I just want to say thank you for watching. And I know that today is a little random, but I just really wanted to talk about it. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. I am out. Peace.